from the park here where they've been situated in Wall Street to Foley Square, which is near City Hall and a lot of courthouses. People packed in.
No.
Oh, I know. Ed Sullivan.
Who am I?
Oh, Wiener.
Bingo! You got it! Hey, if it's this hard to guess, maybe Anthony Weiner should consider wearing his own mask if he wants to go incognito. Ginimo, CNN. I am not a pervert. New York. I am not a pervert.
I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. The news continues next on CNN.
Thanks, Wolf, and good evening, everyone. Tonight, more stunning proof Texas Governor Rick Perry is slipping in the Republican presidential race. And the man benefiting the most says this isn't just one lucky day.
I'll be the 45th president. I was born in 1945, and when I'm sworn in, it'll be the 45th year of marriage between my wife and I. 45 is a lucky number.
Tonight, we'll put Herman Cain's signature tax proposal to the truth test. Plus, one of the leaders of that super committee charged with cutting more than $1 trillion in spending, maybe your student loan or your Medicare, defends doing business behind closed doors.
I remember well one time when I was very little and I was fighting with my brother every other minute, and my mother put us in a back room and said, "Don't come out till you got it figured out." We stared at each other for a while, but we came out friends.
Thanks, Senator Murray, for confirming Congress is just a bunch of feuding children. To me, that's proof they just don't get it. And tonight's number, well, it will warm your heart. A military widow who lost her Navy SEAL husband in combat just weeks ago has now lost his treasured keepsake. But there is help flooding in from new friends. That and more ahead, but first, as always, tonight's breaking news and other stories you need to know right now. Breaking right now in New York. Take a look. Huge crowds still gathering in New York City, protesting against the big banks, Washington gridlock, and the state of the U.S. economy. These Occupy Wall Street protests started, as you know, several weeks ago. But as of today, they're getting big union support and going national. You're looking right now at what could be a decisive tipping point for this protest movement. And right in the middle of it, CNN's Susan Candiotti. She's in the crowd there in New York. Susan, lots of momentum for the protesters today. Tell us where you are, what you're seeing.
Well, that's a big question, too. Is this a tipping point? Will the movement continue to grow from here, or might it go on the decline? Was this the biggest day? It's certainly the largest numbers we have seen since this group started gathering in this park 19 days ago. They've been marching shoulder to shoulder from the park here where they've been situated in Wall Street to Foley Square, which is near City Hall and a lot of courthouses. People packed in, listening to speeches, hearing chants, waving their arms and signs with marching bands and air horns blowing, chanting things like, "We've got to unite, we've got to unite," and one man even saying it's time to shut down the country. Do they really mean that? Will that happen? We certainly know there is a lot of anger among this group. So far as we know, no arrest, but they did have several hundred of them last week, and because of that, there is a huge monumental police presence here, standing by with a lot of paddy wagons just in case, John.
And Susan, you hear people say, well, maybe this is the foundation of a liberal Tea Party. Maybe this will become not a protest movement, but a political movement. Do the protesters say that that's what they want, or are they out there, some of them, venting about very different things?
A lot of different reasons that they're out here, and they say they don't want to be affiliated with any particular party. They just want to be heard in Washington, fed up for a number of different reasons: environmental issues, health, education, of course, a bad economy. They want jobs, and they don't think anyone in Washington is listening to them, certainly not listening to them around Wall Street. And as you can see, they're looking for as much publicity as they can get to try to fuel their movement. They got help today from unions.
Susan Candiotti live in New York City for us, and as we look at those live pictures, it is quite so stunning. Look at those aerial views right there. Maybe you support them, maybe you don't. That is a pretty impressive crowd out tonight in New York City. We will keep track of the protests and where this movement heads in the days ahead. Susan, thank you. Senate Democrats tonight are changing